On this edition of Search and Restore, it is a rare machine indeed, a remnant of old Detroit. Long gone, but not forgotten. We'll meet a PowerBlock viewer who is all about the Hudson. Tim surprises this Michigan man while fulfilling a daughter's wish to bring joy back to her daddy's life by seeing his mighty Hornet fly once again.
Here we are at another pickup. Came to Central Michigan this time to pick up a 51 Hudson Hornet. I love 50s cars and I love oddball makes. Got a few custom touches in mind, a little air suspension, maybe some wide whites. Really looking forward to this project.
With the Hudson safely secured in the back, it's daybreak by the time the boys make the 500-mile trip back from Michigan to the Tech Center in Tennessee. Tim hopes to find an eager first wave of volunteers for project number 7.
There it is, guys. Fresh from Michigan.
I don't see any rust on this thing. It's not your typical Michigan car.
The weird thing about some of these projects is we get them that are really, really bad. This one, good thing. It's had a lot of work already done to it. Small world. Started looking at some of the rust repair and stuff, and I was like, man, rust repair was done really good. And I asked him who it was. It was a good friend of mine, Dave Otten Jr., from up in Michigan, not far from Tom. He did some work when Tom had some money here and there. He's put the bear claw latches in it. He's gapped it. He's fit it pretty good.
Super solid, way better than we could ever dream.
I think it's really straight.
There's a few little dents in the bodywork or in the fenders that need to be straightened and stuff, but it's typical for a car that's 60 years old. But it's going to need a bunch more work, obviously. But when we get done with it, I think it'll look good.
My name's Tom Moore, and I love my Hudson. My grandpa was the first one in our family to buy a Hudson. It was a brand new 51 Hudson Hornet Club Coupe. My dad bought a 49 Hudson that was brand new. Probably over 100 Mopars have had Chargers and Challengers and Roadrunners, you name it. I was looking for a Hudson Hornet that was a clean body. And I looked at a lot of cars, and there are a lot of cars I passed up on. But when I saw how solid this one was, I couldn't pass it up.
That was 17 years ago when Tom Moore and his bride Lisa found this beauty in upstate New York. He's the second youngest of 8 and the only gearhead in the family, which meant he did all the wrenching. But why go from muscle cars to a Hudson?
Because the car was so much more durable and the engineering was so much better than the average car. They had the lower center of gravity and the center point steering and the excellent handling. 308 straight 6 was awesome motor.
But the gearhead in Tom saw something better.
This is the garage where my car's at. I wanted to put a drivetrain out of a 70 Roadrunner in it. I put a 440 in it and a torque flight, an 8 3/4 rear end, put some disc brakes on it and hot rodded up.
What's the saying? Life got in the way. A serious fall off a roof years ago left Tom with a shattered ankle and a bad back. He lost his non-union job at Chrysler, and after several surgeries, Lisa became the breadwinner by earning a degree in nursing.
It's been rough. I'm unable to work right now, and I can't pass a physical to go back to work.
The couple moved in next door to Tom's elderly parents. He takes care of them full-time while the Hudson sits in the garage unfinished.
I've always worked on my feet. I've always worked hard, as long as I could. It was the easiest thing to do. It made me happy to do that. And so I really don't have that anymore.
But what Tom has is a family who thinks the world of him, evident to us by the application video sent in.
Such a wonderful son.
Testimony from mom and dad, brother, son-in-law, Lisa, his wife, and especially from 22-year-old daughter, Taylor, the apple of Tom's eye.
My dad's always been a hard worker. When he lost that job, I think he kind of lost a part of him. I think he feels like less of a man now that he can't provide for his family. Just to see a real smile on his face again would be, is my dream.
Okay, car back to where it was. So here's what kind of the plan is. At Jimmy Smith from Jimmy's Hot Rod Design, do the artwork and kind of see what we're gonna do. It's gonna have wide whites, chrome wheels, steel chrome, some of the factory Hudson stuff. We're gonna change some of the stainless a little bit, chrome bumpers. Still kind of the stock Hudson nose on it. Since he's such a big Hudson fan, I don't feel right about changing the grill and stuff on it. This is more like a pirate code. It's more of a guideline than anything else. So priority one is chop some inches out of that top. So that's it, boys. I think it looks awesome.
Hang it up.
Coming up, will the men turn this coupe into a convertible? Plus, see Tom's reaction when our rig pulls into his driveway.
We're gonna chop his top for him. I've never personally chopped a Hudson, so that's why I got all you guys here this week. Okay, who's got the tape measure?
18 5/8.
Has any of you guys ever chopped the Hudson?
Never chopped a Hudson.
If you move metal, you move metal.
The thing that you learn the most is there are just so many different ways to go about it.
Kind of like anything else, I always say you sneak up on it and you stand back and you look.
The men are confident they made the right choice for a project. But did we choose the right viewer?
I've been looking for a Hudson car for years.
One way to find out, make the 600-mile drive due north to Flint, Michigan, and surprise him at home.
That's his house up there. Tom?
How are you?
Tim.
Nice to meet you.
Something to show you out here. We got the trailer so we can take your car today.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is unbelievable.
No way.
We're here to actually take it today. All right, I'm Tim.
It's strange.
Tim.
This is unbelievable.
What's this mean to you guys? You seem awful happy.
It means everything. It means everything.
The people that aren't really car people are just, oh, it's just an old car or whatever. But
It's literally like a member of the family. Like
Yep.
it's been with us for so long.
and the car's at their house, right?
Yeah, right
It's
next
just right
door.
next door? Yep. Let's go over there.
Okay.
They're picking up the car today.
How you doing?
This is Tim Strange.
They're taking the Huddy today.
This is a wonderful day. It really is.
Wow, it's unlike the other ones that we usually start with. It actually has a floor still in it. Very cool. My mind's going 100 miles an hour right now.
Just like my heart.
And it's a 1951. That thing's like showroom new compared to what it really should be. I'm pretty excited about this and kind of feeling him out, what he likes, what he don't like.
You can push it out if you like.
So what was kind of your plans on this? What kind of direction was you wanting to go to?
I was thinking something like a candy apple blue with either some gold flake somewhere, metal flake. I want to keep the original trim on it with a pork chop up the side.
You have all that?
I have all that, yep.
Headlight change or anything like that?
Yeah,
or?
I have 55 Olds headlights that I wanted to put in it to give it an eyebrow, because I think that would look cool.
About the top.
Oh, he looks chopped. What, do you want to chop it?
I'm just asking. I'm just feeling you out here.
If you want to do it, you can do it.
Let's look at the parts you got in here.
Okay.
Is this the rear bumper up here?
Yep, it's 3 pieces. I'd like to get it all welded into one, if you want to do that.
Man, the list just keeps getting longer and longer, don't it? What we got in here? Nothing?
Those are the chrome parts in there.
Okay.
You have no idea what this means to him. Oh my gosh. He never thought he was gonna get to do this again. Never. He didn't think it was ever gonna happen. I know that he'll be able to come look at the car and it will, no matter what kind of day he's having, this car will change it. If it's a bad day, this car's gonna make it a good day.
Doing good. Straighten her out. I'm gonna get on the road, get back to the tech center.
Thank you very much.
We'll take good care of it. We'll see you later.
Have a safe trip.
Thanks. I said earlier about an inch, inch and a quarter, and he looked at me and go, well, that's a waste of time.
Honestly, when I chop them, I'd take another inch out of the back there. I'd be taking 5 out if it was up to me.
2? I'm thinking 2. That window opening is about 12 inches. We go down to 10 inches.
I don't cut the window loose.
I don't either.
I go to here.
So then it tips. Then you know your centering's all done too.
3 here and 4 back there.
Yeah, it depends on how we can get the angle with the glass too. I wanted to cut it just about an inch and a quarter. Voodoo Larry likes them really low. He wanted to cut like 6-7 inches out of it.
We take a cutoff wheel and cut it, and that way the top is the same on both sides.
Pat wanted to cut just a few inches, so we compromised, took about 2 in the front and about 2.5 in the back. But before we cut the top off, we put a whole bunch of bracing in this thing to hold it true and square.
Coming up, volunteer talent show off their incredible metalworking skills when Tom's Hudson gets chopped. Stay tuned.
Any final thoughts before you cut?
Nope, I'm just gonna start cutting. This thing is full of metal. I think you could crush or melt this baby down and build like 14 Priuses out of this thing. You just cut a pillar out, it's not just one thickness. There is layers of steel everywhere in this thing. They don't build them like this anymore.
Now, where did the idea of chopping the top come from originally? It goes back to the early days of hot rodding and record speed runs on the salt flats and dry lake beds out west. Chopping was an attempt to reduce the frontal profile of a car to increase its speed potential. Some racers chopped their cars so severely that the windows were only a few inches tall. And pretty soon, hot rodders everywhere were adopting this look for the street and the drive-in.
So when you're slicing the top on anything, you gotta get guys that know what they're doing.
All right, it's almost loose.
So I did a lot of research. A lot of these guys I've known for years or have respected their work or seen pictures of their work in magazines and online. I got the right crew this week.
Without a doubt, the most experienced volunteer this week is Pat Keating. Pat's got more than 50 years under his belt doing this kind of work.
Chopping tops is really what I specialize in. For one good reason, you don't have to crawl around under the car. In school, I was always drawing cars. I don't know why. We really never even had a car till I turned 16. Naturally, had to lower my first car, heat and cut the springs and stuff. And it was just, we're talking about back in the 50s.
From those simple beginnings, Pat has built quite a resume of customizing work, including this awesome 50 Mercury for Billy F. Gibbons of ZZ Top. But don't mistake anything he does for restoration.
Restoration, you got to find the right part, the right numbers. And one good thing about customizing is if it's wrong, if you don't tell nobody it's wrong, it's not wrong. You put a headlight in too low, as long as you put the second one in too low, it works. I am amazed, the quality that's going into it. I've been doing tops literally for 55 years. I think I'm pretty good at it, but after seeing a couple of these guys, whew, it makes me feel good, really, because they're a lot younger than me, and there's some talent out there.
What's really refreshing and what makes us all feel good is that there's younger guys. There's guys that are in their 20s that are passionate about the founding fathers of hot rodding. Pat's one of those guys.
This is going to be one nice color.
That's what's cool. We all get here, come together, build a really cool car for a good dude. Ready? Should be loose. And we all have a blast, and we all learn a little thing from each other. What do you guys think about making this just a roadster?
Next, a lot of detail work goes into building a custom lead sled. More metal magic when Search and Restore continues.
We might get a little grief for cutting the top on this old classic car, but anybody can restore a car. It takes a real man to cut one up.
B-pillar's not gonna clear, gang. Cut the B-pillars out.
Day 2 of the build, and major modifications are well underway, including a 2-inch chop, along with custom headlights and taillights. All modifications our owner Tom Moore had in mind when he bought the car 17 years ago. For the eyebrows on the front, Daniel Valjevac and Brad Westergaard tackle the custom fab.
We got 55 Oldsmobile headlight rings going in. We're gonna move them around, drop them down a little bit. And then in the back, we got 39 Lincoln Zephyr lights, aftermarket LED lenses, and put it all together. So it should be cool.
We're trying to follow the contour of this fender, the shape of it. So what I do is just put the Sharpie on there and look from the side and make sure it's got a nice curve to it and see if you have to go up or down.
You can't just put them on. You got to do a little metal surgery.
See what the deal is, these rings, these headlight rings aren't round, they're more
I know,
oval,
they got
so
the oval
sides,
still.
yeah. The sides, I'm having a hard time matching them up.
You can't just put them on because they got this cool little arc forward. So you kind of got to bring them forward, bring them down, bring them back out, and do a lot of metal surgery to make them work, but the look's going to be well worth it.
I'm getting ready to tack this plate in so we can put the taillights in.
We did a little more metal surgery back there, carry a little body line on them because it's going on a round curved fender and a nice flat taillight and a little peak to carry in the body lines that are all over this car.
With the start of a new day, Voodoo Larry customizes the hood by rounding the corners for a slick and subtle vintage custom trick.
Normal person walks up to that car, oh, it's pretty, it's shiny, looks good. I'm not gonna notice that the hood corners are rounded, you know? Just that little bit of changes, and my personal, for doing it for over 30 years, this needs it.
With custom mods of the Hudson underway, Tim and the gang set their attention to the back half of the build.
Well, it's kind of crazy witchcraft to cut glass down. So we actually have Voodoo Larry's glass guys coming down from Chicago to cut the glass in one of these next weeks coming up on the show. Front glass is 2-piece laminate safety glass. You can cut it. The back glass is a tempered piece, which means you don't cut that. You try cutting that, you're gonna have a whole bunch of little pieces you don't know what to do with.
The rear roof is chopped, keeping the window frame intact so the glass can be reused.
Simply chop the top and lay this windshield forward. The contours of the metal are not coming together, and instead of trying to manipulate that and take a chance of changing the shape of the window, I'm making a template, and we're just going to cut all that out and form a piece and fix it all in one shot instead of adding a lot of pieces to the roof. We just want to put just a slight roll into it. The body already had so much roll in it previously that we need less. So just a slight bit is going to cut it.
What's sexy about the chop? Absolutely everything. Look at those guys. They're still going crazy. They got the top cut off and they're still trying to figure out what to do.